Hi everyone, Alchemist here. Today is a pick a pile tarot reading. I'm gonna invite you to pick one of these two decks here, either the Thoth deck or the Hermetic tarot deck. And today is going to be a message from Spirit about what you need to do. It's going to be a message about what you need to do at the moment. Is there anything that you need to adjust? Is there anything that you need to pay attention to? I like to do these kind of guidance readings. These are basically readings that can help you adjust or fix something, or if something is not proper, then you can work on it or adjust it. So let's get right to it. And before I start, I want to remind you that I offer personal readings, sigils, spells, and many other things at my website, sciofalchemist.com, link in the description box below. So feel free to check it out. My books are there too, including my new book, the Book of Sigils, Vade Mecum. So let's get right to it. I'm going to start with the Thoth deck here. So what do you need to adjust? What do you need to fix? What do you need to work on at the moment? For those of you who picked this pile right here. Let's see, what do we have? One card fell. All right. Guess what's the card that fell? The star card. You're the star. That's great. So, what do you need to adjust? What do you need to work on? What do you need to focus on at the moment? I see here that you need to focus on your flexibility, your movement, becoming more adaptable, becoming more adaptable to the situations that come in your life. You have to understand that not everything in life is going to be peaches and cream. Some days are going to be amazing, happy and good, and some days are going to be not happy. They're going to be troublesome. They're going to be problematic, and you have to learn how to adapt. The star card, this is here the air elements. This is Aquarius. This is one of the very powerful major arcanas in tarot, and it highly incites you. This card in this reading, how I'm seeing it is that Spirit is inciting you to become like the star card, to become more airy, to become like Aquarius, to become more fluid. Like air takes you to places you don't know, depending on the time, depending on the era, depending on what you're doing at the moment. It's your choice, it's your free will, but sometimes we want things that are destructive for us. And when you choose something that's destructive for you, you don't know it at the moment, but in the long run, Spirit can see that it's not good for you in the long run. So it's trying to redirect you by sending you a new air of direction, a new wind of direction. That's why sometimes when you feel that breeze or that wind of change, and you know there's something that's changing, and you're like, and your intuition kicks in, and you hear a voice saying, this is the wind of change, I need to change this, or I need to change direction, or I shouldn't do this anymore. So Spirit is inciting you to become more fluid, more flexible. Follow the signs. Have you witnessed a wind of change? Some wind that comes and feels different. That's also a sign. That's an elemental speaking to you, the element of wind speaking to you, telling you that it's time to change whatever you were thinking about at that moment. It could be in any situation. Is it relationships? Is it jobs? Is it finances? Is it location? Is it relocating? Is it moving somewhere else? Is it traveling? Is it cut in a relationship that you have to stop at the moment because it's just not good for you, and that relationship has to go away because there's new horizons and new things that are awaiting you? Is it some toxic family members that are holding you back? Then it's time to move out. It's time to leave the place you are, where you are, and then go start your independent life. So it's time to do that change, because that change is going to be very important for you. Just like the star, you have to become like the star, because you are the star. It came up here and it was upright. Here at the bottom as well, we have the Queen of Cups. It's also the element of water, and water is fluid. Water always finds its path. When you put water in nature, water always finds a way, right? But water finds a way in a very intuitive way, in a very organic, intuitive way. It just finds a way. It's never straight. In nature, water never goes just straight. Sometimes it turns this way, sometimes it turns that way, depending on the obstacles, depending on the problems, because it's trying to avoid these problems, because you don't want to have problems all the time. Problems are good, you can learn from them, they're good experience, but you don't want to have them all the time. You don't want to stumble upon them all the time. You want to learn from them, and like water, like air, try to avoid them. Try to kind of see where they are and avoid them whenever you see necessary. And that comes with following the intuition, following the guidance. And Spirit wants you to know that that's what you need to do at the moment. Become more flexible. It's time to drop that rigidity. That's technicality here. It's showing up here as well. That kind of science, that logic. Logic doesn't exist. Logic is something of the physical realm, or logic is something of the 3-dimension reality. Sense, making sense, is the fastest way to get rid of your essence. Trying to make sense all the time will get you farther from your essence. Essence. So the more you try to make sense, the more you lose your essence, because making sense and logic and plans is how you know that how can I put this into words? The more you think that logic and planning and making sense is the way to go in life, the more you do that, the more you're gonna find problems. The more you're gonna find problems and hurdles. Because alchemy, the art of alchemy, I just want to relate alchemy here, is always trying to teach us that there is no sense, there is no logic. There is always something that you need to feel. That's why I always say the realm of the unseen, something that you can't see, but you can sense. Maybe you can see it with your third eye, but it's the realm of the unseen. It's something beyond the 5 senses. So the more you start to feel and understand, and you're aware of this other thing, the unseen, the more you're aware of it and you follow the signs, and like air, then you're gonna get faster to where you need to be. Then you're gonna find the answers that you're looking for. And the more you're logical, sensical, make plans all the time, this has to be this has to be this has to be that, then you're gonna be stuck in the physical reality. You're gonna be stuck there for as long as it takes, because the three-dimensional reality works like that. I'm not saying you should not plan and you should not be logical. You should. That's how it's good for survival. That's how we can avoid harming ourselves, right? It's good for survival, but it's only to a certain extent. At some point, you have to drop that. You have to drop that, otherwise you're going to be always stuck in the physical reality. One last card and we're going to move on to the next pile. I hope what I'm saying made sense. It's a little bit philosophical. Again here, look at the waviness of this card. Look how it's it's flowy. And this card is the Princess of Wands, and this is fire. And fire has also this flexibility to it. The fire is never still. Fire is always moving. It's always in movement, right? It's always like, no matter how you see fire, it's the flame is always moving. It's always waving. Sometimes right, sometimes left. Sometimes, you know, it's always in that flexible movement. So that's what you need to do. That's what Spirit wants you to know. Let's move on to the other pile, which is the Hermetic Tarot deck. What do you need to do? What do you need to adjust at the moment? What do you need to fix at the moment for in your life? Anything that you need to adjust, some element that you need to work on, some aspects, something. Let's see. Okay, so okay, so here, what I read in the cards is that you sense this is coinciding with the siren outside. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but there's a siren going on. I don't know if it's heard in the camera. It's a siren. And the cards here, they're saying basically that, I'm gonna wait for the siren because I feel like it's overlapping what I'm saying. I'm gonna wait for it to pass. So that's your message, is the siren. For you guys, the message is that that you need to step into your power. This is kind of like a warning for you. It's a little warning. You need to step into your power. You need, here the King of Swords, this beautiful card. This is what you are. But here we have, again, this card is reversed here. So you're kind of, it's time for you to step into your power. It's time for you to become who you truly are. You have so much strength. You have so much within you you're imploding. That's what I'm hearing. You're imploding. There's so much inside, and that explosion that it needs to happen externally, it's happening inside of you. And that usually, unfortunately, that's what leads to depression, drama, complaining all the time. And sometimes it manifests in physical diseases. That kind of implosion, it manifests in you having a physical disease if you don't let it out. So it's time to step into your power. It's time to let that energy that's inside of you out. And how do you let it out? How do you dash with it? How do you let it out? Is by whatever activity that will allow you to release that. It could be actually a physical activity, or it could be something like tarot. It could be the occult. It could be talking about these subjects that you've been dreaming to talk about for so long. You have so much to say, and no one is hearing you. No one is listening to you. Why don't you start sharing this on YouTube? Start talking about it on YouTube or any other social media platform. Start documenting, start writing. If talking is not the right thing, start writing. If writing is not the thing for you, if you want just to talk, start a podcast, or put your stuff in some podcast platform in audio format. If it's singing, sing. If it's running, go and run every single day. If it's working out and lifting heavy weights, go work out. If it's reading tarot all the time, read tarot. That energy that's inside of you, it has to come out. It has to come out of you, because there's so much inside. I can feel it. There's so much, and this is it's gonna affect you in the long run. It's gonna affect you in terms of success, in terms of abundance, in terms of getting where you need to be. If you don't let this energy out, then it's basically self-explanatory. If you don't let this energy out, something not good is gonna happen. So it's kind of a warning. You have to let this energy out, and sometimes it does feel overwhelming to let this energy out, because you're like, where do I start? I have so much going on in my life. I have family to take care of. I have a job to go to. I have this, I have that. You know, sometimes you just have to find that 1 hour per day and do that thing and do something for yourself. You just have to halt everything and pause everything and do something for yourself, at least for 1 hour per day. Let that energy out. Just bring it outside of you, and then just let it out. You could go to hike in nature and scream your lungs out. Do it. Go hike. Go somewhere in nature for a hike, and then just scream like a crazy person. Anyway, go run until you can't breathe anymore. Run as fast as you can. Dash, running. Like, it could be anything. If it's a tarot reading, call up a friend or someone you know, or it could be just for yourself, and do a 3-hour tarot reading and read anything you want about anything you've been wanting to do. Whatever you have inside, just let it out. Let it out, not for others, for yourself. It has nothing to do with the other person or with other human beings. You didn't come here to fix human beings. You didn't come here to change the world. You didn't come here to change anything. You came here to change yourself. You came here to change yourself. That's the only way you came here. You didn't come here to change anything. Nothing is gonna change. Nothing is gonna get fixed. Earth, life on Earth is cyclical. It's cycles and cycles that have been going on for millions of years. Millions and hundreds of thousands of years, cycles have been going on over and over and over. Civilizations come, live, become advanced, become multiply, and then a flood comes and destroys and annihilate them, and then rinse and repeat. And then the survivors carry on, and then they grow, and then civilization grow, and then become advanced, and then they become too much, and then they become destructive, and then they get flushed again. And that's how it has been happening on Earth for millions of years. There's nothing you're gonna change. There's nothing you can change. The moment you start saying, I'm here to change others, I'm here to change the world, then it means that there's a problem within you, because I can understand that from the goodness of your heart, you want to help people. It's something noble. There's something noble about it. But it's also programming. It's programming that religion, it's a programming that society, that your parents, that your peers have been feeding you since you were 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, which is the most noble thing to do is to help others. And in your mind, that's the main goal, is to help others, because you've been told so. Earth doesn't need your help. No one needs your help. How many times have you tried to help someone and it ended up even making things worse for them? And how many times you were, let's say, fair and even mean to someone because you were facing them with the truth, and that changed their lives? So what is really helping? So the only thing you're doing here is helping yourself. That's the only thing you're doing on Earth. So if you don't let that energy out to help yourself, then, get ready for the consequences. So let it out. It's still not too late. You still have time. Let this energy out. One more card. Again, oppression. 10 of Wands. And look how this card is shaped. It's like a jail. It's like this. It's like, no, because that's how you're feeling. Oppression. You're feeling oppressed. You're feeling like you're inside a jail. You feel like you can't unchain yourself, But Spirit is telling you can. Only the solution is simple. Dedicate time to yourself. That's the only thing you have to do. It doesn't require you even money. It doesn't require you anything. It requires you some time for yourself. And if you really love yourself, with all the people bragging about how much they love themselves, if you really love yourself, give some time to yourself. That's how you show love to yourself. Give some time to yourself and let that energy out. Love. As I was saying, give love to yourself. The bottom of the deck, it had the Two of Cups, which represents love. So love yourself. Give some time to yourself. Let that energy out. And once you let it out and keep doing it, not just once, you have to do it and keep doing it. You have to always, this energy, this kind of in alchemy, the sulfur is the animus element, because we have corpus, animus, spiritus. The animus, which is represented by the element or metal of sulfur. So that's the energy that animates us, that gives us ambition, the fire, the male energy. That energy, even in alchemy, from an alchemical standpoint, if you don't let it out, if you don't manifest it out through any kind of activity, then it will destruct you. It will destroy you. If you don't let it out, it will destroy you. That energy was built within our blueprints so we can do something with it. How am I manifesting that energy? The sulfur, the animus, these readings I'm giving, that I'm channeling spirit, this is energy. This is my animus. This is my fire. It's my male energy speaking through myself. I'm letting it out. So that's in every human being, the animus, the sulfur element. And if that element doesn't go out, because it's powerful, because it's fire, it's basically fire. So if that thing doesn't go out, because it's so powerful, if it stays in, then it destroys the body, it destroys the soul. And that's why a lot of people have problems with their bodies and they're depressed, because they're not letting the sulfur out, if that makes sense. But this is from an alchemical standpoint. All right, so this is what I have for you. Both piles are good. There's nothing, by the way, to be scared of. There's nothing harmful. These are all just guidance from spirit about what you need to do. So the answers were clear, I guess. And this is what I have for you. Thank you very much. I hope this helps. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.